What is going on, producer Searle? Don't laugh at me down below in the comments section. Make sure that you go in and spam C in the chat. I see Chastity's hanging out with us down below already. If you can't tell, it is my Friday, so I'm already having a good time. I might be a little bit silly in the comment section. What's going on? I'm giving shout-outs. Joe Saucy, good to see you. Oompa Loompa, I'm going to go with what up, Elite Misha. Pop Toes, always good to see you. The great Pat Kern is hanging out with us. What up, Saw MVP, how you doing? Good to see you. Big Ed, it's always good to see you, sir. 83 people are hanging out with us. Make sure that you hit that thumbs up button on today's video. And most importantly, I hope that you are all having a wonderful Thursday here in the wonderful country of the United States. What's going on, Jay Sava? What up, Phoenix King VGX? 90 people hanging out with us. Ronald, I would never miss you. I'm so sorry. Speaking of people I would never miss because I don't let him leave, that would be the great producer, Searle. He's been absolutely putting in the work today. Make sure that you give it a hand up to him. Producer Searle, congratulations. Good to see you.
Hey. Fantastic to be here, as always. It's been a week, hasn't it?
It's been a week.
And next week's going to be even more. We'll have you guys covered for free agency. Obviously, Seahawks are sort of just lurking in silence right now.
Yes.
We're waiting for them to pounce.
I am claiming that we've got snake in the grass right now. John Schneider, snake in the grass. He's waiting. He's ready. He's going to pop up. He's going to make some big moves, but he just hasn't done so yet. Good luck to you, VGX, on your midterm. Hope that gets there. Marlon, good to see you. It's good to see you, sir. Here's what we're doing today. We're going to have our normal Thursday live show. That means we got 3 segments for you. I'm going to tell you about the major news that's impacting the Seattle Seahawks, along with some free agency rumors. But if you want to be a part of our mailbag today, use the hashtag Seahawks or send in a super chat to make sure that you're on the show. Here's the beauty of it, Searle. If you send in that super chat, I guarantee you will be on the show. I cannot guarantee that you will be on the show if you only use the hashtag. Pop Toes is very excited to see you, Searle. That is awesome.
Hey, good to see you too, Pop Toes. Always happy to be here with the 12s.
Dude, Pop Toes. Guys,
legend.
Beast. Legend of the game. Absolute beast. Just like my guy, Big Ed. So here's what we got going for today's show. Like I said earlier, we've got some free agent rumors, while also we're going to have to talk about, guess what? Some big news that literally just happened. We're going to go through my free agency plan because I'll tell you right now, very excited for free agency to hit on Monday, and I think I've got a couple big-time targets that the Seahawks definitely need to go after. And then, of course, we're going to get into our mailbag show, which is going to include all of you. Use the hashtag Seahawks or go in and send us a super chat. If you send us a super chat, I guarantee you will be on that show. Not only will you be on today's show, but you'll also be on our Saturday video as well. The great Jerry Brooks is in the building, Searle. The one, the only, the MVP of the Super Bowl himself. Good to see you, Jerry.
Sometimes I feel like when I see Jerry Brooks down there, I need to stand up and give him a tip of my hat.
A salute?
A salute almost.
See, and you can because you've got wonderful hair. I, on the other hand, do not have wonderful hair. I did shave this morning, though. Oh. So it's about as good as my bald dome can possibly look. I'll tell you that right now. We're trying to get to 100 likes on today's video. We're at 84 people hanging out with us. Only 32 likes. Let's get those numbers up. Go on in, hit that thumbs up button. The beauty of hitting that like button doesn't cost a dime, man. It's just free, and it helps us out here on the channel. Lets us get to do more of these videos because that's frankly what we want to do for you all, for the people. I love covering the Seahawks. I know Searle has become a Seahawks fan, which always does feel good. And the more coverage that we get to do, the more fun that we get to have, and the better coverage that we get to bring to y'all. What up, Techem Power Hub, good to see you. Another Seahawks Today legend. Here's the cool thing that I want to promote to you guys as well. Searle already did it a little bit, but free agency starts on Monday. We are going to be live for a majority of the day is what it sounds like for us.
Yeah, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but 11 o'clock Central Time, so 9 a.m. Pacific Time.
That's right. Right when you wake up, 9 a.m. Pacific Time, 10 Mountain, 11 Central, noon Eastern.
Come have your morning coffee with us. I'm sure I'll be having some as well. Ortner, not a big coffee guy, but he'll have the energy drink ready.
Yes.
We'll get you guys set for a big, not only a big day, but a big week of free agency. Could the Seahawks be making some moves? Maxx Crosby, you never know. Trey Hendrickson, just a few guys that John Schneider could be on the lookout for. But we'll have you guys covered, so be sure to tune in.
No, 100%. Make sure that you tune in. And look, I get it. It's Monday. Most people are going to end up having to work that day. So just kind of tune in, tune out, throw us on in your earbud. Hey, you got to go to a meeting? All right, we got to turn off Will and Searle. But then when you come back, make sure that you have that stuff on because, well, we're going to keep you covered with all of the latest and greatest news. 43 likes on the video today. Make sure you keep hitting that thumbs up button because we also want to give a thumbs up to our good friends over at Lucky Links. Thank you so much to Lucky Links. They got me my 12s bracelet, and Heidi and her crew, she does a fantastic job when it comes to some of that jewelry. Mother's Day right around the corner. We're also going to be raffling off our bracelet. Don't worry, we're still keeping track, and everyone who sends in a super chat during our live shows gets a raffle ticket throughout the month of March. At the end of March, we'll raffle one of those off, and then you'll be able to have your own 12s bracelet that either you could wear or maybe you give it to that special lady in your life or special guy, special person, whoever in your life. I'll tell you right now, Searle, we're seeing a lot of people that are in kind of agreement with me in that morning video of scared, but it's in John we trust.
I think we mentioned it in one of our previous VODs, but best GM in the league.
Yep.
He's been here before. And we've seen this before from John Schneider. Sort of waiting to pounce to make a big move. Big-time free agency landing, a big-time splash. So I don't really think the concern for Seahawks fans needs to be too high right now. Just let the man cook.
Yep, I'm right there with you, Searle. I'm hoping that he's cooking. I'm hoping that he's got something in the cards. It does sound like the Seahawks are interested in Maxx Crosby. It does sound like the Seahawks are interested in a lot of edge rushers. Don't be shocked if maybe that's where the big free agent signing comes from. Maybe the Seahawks go out and instead of trading for Maxx Crosby, they say, hey, let's hold on to those picks and let's go sign some other guys. Also important to know for those of you who haven't had an opportunity to check social media yet, Drake Thomas is back. The Seahawks signed a deal with him, and we'll get into it in our video that we're about to film. But I'll tell you right now, Searle, we're at 46 likes. We need to get that number up. I think that we should wait to go live until, what do you say, we get to 60 likes?
I was going to say 60.
I think 60 is perfect. Just need 14 people to hit that thumbs up button. It doesn't cost you a dime. Listen to the great man there, the great Pop Toes. You hit that thumbs up button. It'll allow us to be able to hit the metrics that we want to hit and, of course, be able to go live because we've got a bunch of fun things that we're going to talk about in that first segment. All around free agency, some of the news, some of the rumors. Patrice, thank you so much for using the hashtag Seahawks. I really appreciate it. We are 8 likes away. We just need 8 people to come on in and hit that thumbs up button. We really appreciate each and every single one of you that does that. Thank you, everyone. What's up, Michael? Good to see you. Seahawks. That is a funny response. That is a funny response. Got to crack up out of me. Tell you what. So remember, here's what we're going to be doing today. We've got 3 segments. Use that hashtag Seahawks or send in a super chat so that way we can get you on our mailbag show, which will get you on today's video. But more importantly, it'll get you on Saturday's video as well. And it gets you in the raffle. Potentially come away with that 12s bracelet. Xander, good to see you, sir. I knew it was only a matter of time before Xander the Great came into the building. Good to see you, sir. I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. While we're getting my guy Xander up on the screen, I should let everyone know that we are 3 likes away from being able to get into that first segment. Plus, we got 72 people here in the building. Only 57 likes. You love the Seahawks. You love Seahawks Today. All you got to do is hit that thumbs up button. We're trying to be Pop Toes. I don't know that we are. Xander! What's going on, sir? Good to see you. Let's go, Hawks. I hope Crosby will be a Seahawk. I hope so, too. It definitely feels like it's going to happen. I think we're at a point, like at the trade deadline, there was hope that the Seahawks or any team really would have an opportunity at Maxx.
Yeah.
Our Raiders show basically has been live most of today because they were like, we just want to be here when it happens. It didn't happen yet. I'm interested. I'm interested to see where that ends up. What do you say, Cyril?
Yeah, I like where the Seahawks are at right now with Maxx, but another team to look out for, I think, is potentially the Chicago Bears.
Yes.
That's been another big name out there to monitor in this whole situation.
Yes, 100% Cyril is right. The Chicago Bears clearly think that they have a spot and are going to be able to grab and hold on to Maxx Crosby. There's even a wonder if the trading away of DJ Moore today is actually going to be able to give them an opportunity to free up some cap space. So that's definitely a team to watch out for. Jerry, we see you. We're going to get you on the screen before we get into that first segment. Don't worry. It just takes a little bit of time. I don't know what the deal is with YouTube. YouTube sometimes is just so funny. Jerry! I am nervous, but it's just fanboy nerves. I trust John and Mike have a plan, and they have my trust. Jerry, I could not agree more. You sound like I'm listening to my morning video today. I am nervous, 100%. Tweeted it out yesterday. It was all around the Rashid Shaheed news of him basically saying, hey, I'm going to test free agency. I didn't feel good either. 100% did not feel good about it either. But John has earned my trust. Mike has earned my trust. I trust that the Seahawks front office, coaching staff, they're going to get the job done. And they're going to get a deal taken care of. I trust that it'll happen. I'm hoping. What do you think, Cyril?
Like I said, in John we trust. Best GM in the league.
Yes,
He's been here before. We've seen this before. He waits to make the big move.
Yep. And don't be shocked if it comes this week.
Yes.
Don't be shocked if something big comes this week because John Schneider, he's been known to make some big signings, really close to free agency. So don't be shocked if some kind of big trade happens over the weekend, or don't be shocked if there ends up being a big move on that first day of free agency. So here's what we are going to do. We are going to dive into our first segment because we got well over those 64 likes. And we have news and rumors that you definitely want to check out. You are not going to want to miss. Thank you guys so much. We'll be right back here in just one moment. Let me know when we are good to go, producer Cyril. Whew, we're flying. All right, we're ready? Let's do it. Right now, there are so many rumors that are swirling around the Seattle Seahawks. Who could they be trading for? Who could they be trying to sign in free agency? It just feels like at any moment the bubble is about to pop. Will John Schneider make a big trade before NFL free agency starts? Or will the Seahawks already have an edge rusher brought in on Monday? But before we get into any of that, breaking news. This comes to us from Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network. The Seahawks and starting linebacker Drake Thomas have agreed to terms on a 2-year deal. It's going to be worth $8 million on the base and has a chance to end up making $9 million. Look at those stats. I'll tell you right now, Drake Thomas was a diamond in the rough that Seattle went out and found. Mike McDonald turned him into a great player in the 2025 season. Played fantastic for the Seahawks, was able to get a bunch of sacks as well as TFLs. He can cover really well. I don't know why other teams didn't want him. It's just because I guess he's a little bit short. What an absolute steal for the Seattle Seahawks. This kid is a beast, and I loved everything that he did for the team this year. In my personal opinion, Seattle knocked it out of the park, found a way to bring him back while also not overpaying for him either. Great job by John Schneider. Make sure that you hit that sub button. We're racing right now to catch up to our Knicks Now channel. We had them. They were right within our grasp. They were able to pull away. We're going to bring them back in. I'll tell you that right now. Hit that sub button. Share the video if you have a friend who has not subscribed to the channel. First rumor that we're going to hit on today's show, of course, is going to revolve around Maxx Crosby because he is the belle of the ball right now. And it does feel like there is finally going to be a big-time trade with a team going in and signing Crosby. Jordan Schultz had this report earlier, and I know it's hard to say the Schultz name in Seattle, but Jordan Schultz is pretty plugged in, and it's pretty clear that the Maxx Crosby trade is going to happen. It feels like the Maxx Crosby trade is going to happen at any moment, and I believe that this trade will actually be made before NFL free agency starts because whoever trades for him, they're going to have to make sure that they sign him. The question is what is it going to cost to get Maxx Crosby into your building and to make sure that he stays with your team? The Raiders are asking for a lot of money, and I understand why they are doing that. Diana Rossini of The Athletic had this to say. Based on several conversations with league sources, the Raiders have not moved off their asking price of 2 first-round picks and a player. Is that too much? Before we continue on with the rest of today's video, here's what I've been trading on over at Polymarket. During Seattle's playoff run, Polymarket had Seattle as a 75% chance to get a win over San Francisco. I thought that the value here was sneaky good. Seattle had just beaten San Francisco, and Seattle seemed like the hot team during that postseason run. So for those reasons, I came in and I took Seattle at 75% chance to win this game. $100 wins you $33 if Seattle took the dub. Plus, with Polymarket, you can trade in and out of momentum shifts without getting blocked or penalized. With in-game trading, once the Seahawks got up, I could either ride it all the way out or I could sell early. For example, if you buy at 75% and then you sell at just 90%, you can snag yourself a cool $20 payout, which is awesome, obviously. You can't do this with traditional sportsbooks, so get started today. Polymarket is legal in all 50 states. Download the app now and get to the top of the waiting list. The only way to do that is by clicking my link in the description and comments. Now, the big trade right now going with Maxx Crosby that everyone has kind of said this is what the Seahawks would probably be giving up comes from 12th Man Rising. That's where I saw it first, but I do know that it's been out for quite a while now, and the expectation is that the Raiders would get the Micah Parsons deal. 2 first-round picks and a player, and it does look like the Raiders could potentially want Derek Hall to come in as an edge rusher. Now, when I look at this deal, to me, that is too much. Obviously, we had cooked up a different deal earlier with Mitchell Renz, the Raiders Report host that we have here, where it'd be the same picks, but it would be Tyrese Knight. Doesn't feel like that's going to be enough to get the deal done. And to me, when I look at this trade, I think that it's going to be too much. But I'm going to ask you right now, what is your opinion of this trade for Maxx Crosby? Is it too much? Yes or no? Let me know down below in the comment section whether you would make this trade to get Maxx Crosby with the Seattle Seahawks. Getting Maxx Crosby is not going to be easy for this team. Obviously, the Cowboys, the Lions, the Bears, everyone is still involved. And because all these teams are trying to get him, that does mean that that price is going to go up, up, and up. Because at the end of the day, the Raiders want to make sure that they get the most bang for their buck. But also, Maxx Crosby, he's going to make sure that he goes somewhere where he can be a winner. It does feel like the organization and the player are working together to kind of make sure that they have a smooth ending of their relationship, just in case Maxx Crosby wants to come back later on. Now, Adam Schefter ended up going on the Pat McAfee show earlier today, and he had this to say on Maxx Crosby. I think the Bears have checked in on Maxx Crosby, but I don't know if they will be able to get it done. Everybody is sniffing around, and we're waiting to see if the Raiders decide to move Maxx Crosby. Feels like it's only a matter of time. The question isn't when, if, it's when. And the question really is not going to be when is he traded, but to whom he is traded and whom he is traded for. The next big rumor that I want to dive into is here on Jonathan Greenard, fantastic edge rusher for the Minnesota Vikings. And it does sound like he is going to be on the trading block. Now, this comes to us from Corbin Smith, does a great job of covering the Seahawks. And it does sound like the Seahawks have called about that edge rusher in Minnesota. And right now, it looks like somewhere between a second rounder and a day 3 pick is the sweet spot for Greenard. Now, I think that's a little bit high when it comes to the total value that Seattle would potentially have to give up to get Greenard, especially when you look at how many draft picks the Seahawks actually have. In my opinion, it would make a lot more sense if the Seahawks ended up giving up a player, but I do think that Greenard would fit well in Seattle. When you look at the stat line for Greenard, he's obviously a high sack guy when he stays healthy. And the problem with Minnesota isn't necessarily his level of play on the field. It's just more so they don't have a ton of cap space, and so it doesn't make sense necessarily to hold on to Greenard. I think that he would fit extremely well in Seattle, and I think you'd see a lot of success had for him and for this Seahawks defense if he did decide to come in, and we know that the Seahawks need some edge rusher talent. We're going to look into some different edge rushers, but some guys that are more free agents right now instead of potential trade rumors after I let you know about this sweet Seahawks Today t-shirt. If you're a real one, you want everyone to know how much you love Seahawks Today, you can go grab a shirt right now. We've got the blue and the black, only $24.99. Support the show and support us here at Chat Sports. Super comfy as well. We're still selling the St. Patrick's Day merch as well. You can join Jerry B and the Seattle Drinking Team. We've got the green and the blue as well. Super affordable t-shirts, and it can go great with this Beers hat. We love it. Everyone loves drinking beers responsibly. Only $24.99. Obviously, you know I'm a big hat guy. Love the trucker hat type of look. I think that they look freaking sweet. Now, I understand some of you are saying, hey, will those hats and the Drinking Team merch get here or get to me in time for St. Patty's Day? Yes, it can, but you got to use what we're showing up on the screen right now. That's that express shipping. Only going to be $5. Very, very cool deal that we've got going on, but it's only going to be for a limited time. Now, remember, the express shipping only pertains to our Drinking Team merch and our Beers hat. Would not include Seahawks Today. So if that's something you're interested in, just making sure you know that. We're going to have the links to all of those in the comment section and description of today's video. All right. Now we're getting to dive into the free agent rumors. And the big one right now is Trey Hendrickson. And I actually think there's going to be a lot more momentum rolling forward for Trey Hendrickson being a Seahawk. And if you end up seeing that this deal becomes official, I will be claiming that I am Nostradamus. Because Trey Hendrickson would fit perfectly into this Seahawks defense. He is great still at getting after the passer while also doing a fantastic job of stopping the run. Now, I understand when you look at the 2025 stats, they're not great. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend that Hendrickson absolutely balled out this year. That would be a lie, and I do not lie to you, the people of Seahawks Today. But it's important to look at the games played. 7. He was hurt. He was beat up. And I understand that he's on the wrong side of 30, but if you're able to keep Trey Hendrickson healthy, which I think the Seahawks have shown that they can do, Uchenna Nwosu and DeMarcus Lawrence, 2 of the healthiest years that they've had in quite some time, they balled out. You're telling me I can get a Trey Hendrickson that's a slightly better version and a slightly younger version? Hell yeah, I love that. This is a guy who had 17.5 sacks 2 years in a row, just 1 year ago. So yeah, I want Trey Hendrickson. He fits well in the Mike Macdonald defense. Why? Because he doesn't just do one thing. Macdonald wants guys who can stop the run as well as the pass. We're not looking for Von Miller types, right? We want guys who can get after the run game while also getting after the passer. Trey Hendrickson is a terrifying defender, and he would draw a lot of focus while also fitting into Macdonald's defense because he is unselfish. He wants to go somewhere where he can win a title, and I think that he could win a title with Seattle. I also believe that Hendrickson fits into the payment, or I guess the salary cap space that the Seahawks have. You're going to have to pay a lot of money to extend JSN, and to extend Devin Witherspoon. You're going to have to pay a decent chunk of change to get Trey Hendrickson. But I think that the Seahawks have the space to do it and would do it. Hit that thumbs up button if you want the Seahawks defense to get even freaking better next year. Now, we're going to look at the next player that could be added to the Seahawks defense. And I'll tell you right now, he's an older player, but I find him ultimately fascinating if he ended up coming to Seattle, and that is the great Khalil Mack. Now, it was made clear earlier on this offseason from Ian Rappaport that Mack was not going to retire. Now, when you look at Khalil Mack, you might say to yourself, well, he's really old. If Trey Hendrickson is kind of flirting with the line of being a bit too old, Khalil Mack's going to be real old. He's on the real wrong side of 30. But I'll tell you right now, with the Chargers, he's someone who still gets a lot of work done, able to get after the passer, does a great job of stopping the run. I mean, he's 2 years removed from a 17-sack season. Probably not going to happen. But I'll tell you right now, Khalil Mack is someone who could easily add into this defense, especially if DeMarcus Lawrence ends up actually retiring. Now, I don't believe that DeMarcus Lawrence is going to retire, and I would not go out and necessarily sign Khalil Mack as the replacement to Boye Mafe. That just doesn't make a ton of sense to me. But if DeMarcus Lawrence ends up calling it a career, one, hats off to you, sir. Congratulations on a fantastic and potentially Hall of Fame career. But Khalil Mack, he could come in and he could be a big-time performer for this team. You're not going to ask him to be Khalil Mack back when he was on the Raiders or when he was on the Bears. You're asking him to be a similar version of DeMarcus Lawrence last year. I don't see why Khalil Mack couldn't do that. Let me know down below in the comments section, do you agree with me? I believe that DeMarcus Lawrence will be playing for the Seahawks in 2026. I don't see a retirement happening, especially since I believe he's got a shot at running it back and getting his second Super Bowl. Let me know if you agree or disagree down below in the comment section. Very fascinating on what you have to say. Now, there's not as many rumors around this player with the Seahawks because, well, he was just kind of informed that he would not be returning to his former ball club, and that is Cam Jordan. Another player who's a little bit older, but I would say someone who's had a lot of success in the last year. In fact, when you look at a lot of the players that are going right now, potentially linked to this Seahawks team, he had the best year last year. Over double-digit sacks. Now, he did play for the Saints, so that means that teams were not throwing nearly as much as you might think against the Saints because they were up big. But Cam Jordan can still clearly ball out. He's not washed. He's not done yet. Now, I don't necessarily know that I see this happening, but depending on the price tag, I don't see a reason why the Seahawks would not potentially bring in Cam Jordan, especially if they miss on a couple of their other opportunities that they were really looking at and potential players that they were looking at signing. Now, I understand that these, at the end of the day, it feels like we are just kind of beating around the bush on what could potentially end up happening. It does feel a lot of what ifs right now, but these are the big rumors that are facing the Seattle Seahawks, and I find all of these players ultimately fascinating, and I would love if the Seahawks were able to bring in one, and I believe that the Seahawks will bring in at least one. It does feel like it's either going to be Maxx Crosby or Trey Hendrickson. Make sure that you hit that thumbs up button if you loved today's video. We always really appreciate you here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on Seahawks Today. And if it's your first time, hit that sub button. What are you doing? Subscribe to the channel. We're going to have you covered throughout the year of 2026 on the Seattle Seahawks. Especially since NFL free agency is right around the corner, you're going to want to hit that sub button so you don't miss any of the news. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bang! What's going on? 92 people in the building. 77 likes. I love that like number went up. Pablo Domingo, what's good, brother? He says he wants Trey Hendrickson. Scott says he wants to spend a few bucks to make sure that Tank keeps playing. I don't see DeMarcus Lawrence retiring. I think that he's quite a ways away from hitting that retirement button. What do you think, producer?
I think he's closer than people might think, but also when you consider that, how many kids does he have? 6, I think?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, it was his sixth child that was just born. Yeah.
Yeah, so, he probably wants to spend some time with his family. He's made a hell of a career for himself. So I don't think it's that far-fetched to think that he could, but I see one more year out of him at least, maybe 2 if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see DeMarcus coming back for one more year.
Yeah, I agree. I also think that it's hard to kind of look at this team and look at this squad and say, why not run it back? I understand that it's clearly not full. It's clearly not a finished product. There's clearly still some things that need to and have to happen for this team specifically. And I do love this description here by my guy Scott. He says, none of these guys are important as fixing the sucking chest wound at running back. I do understand that. But I do feel like DeMarcus Lawrence, we are going to see him return. Make sure you keep using that hashtag Seahawks, or you could send in your super chat like my guy Xander and Jerry B. We'll get you on our mailbag as well as today's show. Shout out to Lucky Links, by the way. You send in those super chats. That'll get you entered in the raffle for the month of March. Potentially earn yourself a 12s bracelet. We'll send it out our way to you as an appreciation and as a thank you. Big Ed, I love you, man. Thank you. Shout out to you. We are 19 likes away from 100 likes on today's video, so make sure that you hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. We always really appreciate those of you who help us out and show your love and support to our show. Now, the fun thing is about the second video today, Searle, is we're going to be doing a little bit of conversing. We're going to converse on what I believe is the perfect free agency plan for the Seahawks. Now, Searle, you've had an opportunity to look at what my plan is. You don't have to mince words here. I'm still buying you that beer after the show.
Oh, heck yeah. Let's go.
You're getting a beer. I know what I asked of you today. Today was a lot for you, sir. You're getting a beer. What are your thoughts on my offseason plan? What are your thoughts on my free agency plan?
No bias. I think a lot of Seahawks fans, including myself, will really like the plan that you conjured up. I think it's a lot of the plan that a lot of people have in mind.
I think so, too.
Yeah, and I don't think, there's some parts here and there that some people might disagree with, but as a whole, I think the general vibe around it is a good plan.
I agree. I would not come in with a half-assed plan. I like the positions that we're going to be attacking. I like the players that we're going to be attacking those positions with. And I think at the end of the day, you're going to find that on this show, in that perfect free agency plan, we will actually get better. Like, the Seahawks will get better. And that's crazy to say about a team that just won the Super Bowl. It's not necessarily an attack on the previous team. It's just understanding that there were some flaws. You're never going to have a perfect team. You're never going to have a perfect squad. And how can you improve upon those? I think that we found them. I think that we can help improve upon this Seahawks team and this Seahawks squad, not just on the defensive side, but on the offensive side as well. And I think there are some key players and some key positions that we are going to make sure that we address. And we're going to address it in that video. Shout out to Tech and Power Hub. We're going to get you here on the show in just one moment. By the way, 16 likes from getting to that 100 number. I want to make sure that we get there. So if you are just hanging out, you just joining us, haven't hit that thumbs up button, do so now. We always really appreciate it here on the show. The more that we're able to hit that thumbs up button, the more opportunities we're going to have to do more of these live shows. 15 away. We're rapidly approaching that number. Techo Power Hub, what up? If we get better on the edge, we will be just fine. I couldn't agree more, sir. I believe that if this Seahawks team gets better at that edge position, they're only going to continue to improve upon what they've been doing. Now, remember, Boye Mafe is more than likely going to leave in free agency. I just don't see him returning. I just don't see it happening. It's not going to happen. So if Boye Mafe ends up moving on, just by adding in another edge rusher, this team could get better. Not to attack Boye Mafe and say he didn't play well this past season, but I do feel like he had an opportunity to have a little bit more success, to have a little bit more stats, to have more stats that really jumped off the page. And so I do think Seattle can improve upon that edge spot. Tech and Power Hub says plenty of DBs in this year's draft. Yes, it does sound like the Seahawks are clearly going to be targeting someone at pick number 32 in that defensive back room. Searle, I'm going to put you on the spot. If you had to add an edge player or a defensive back player to the Seahawks, who do you think you would go with in free agency and why?
I really like Trey Hendrickson. Obviously, I know a lot of people are pulling for Maxx Crosby, who would also be not a good, but a great get. I think both would be great gets, but I feel like with Hendrickson, you saw what DeMarcus Lawrence did at his age, sort of in the twilight of his career. And I feel like that's what Trey Hendrickson is right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you could sort of get out of him what you got out of DeMarcus, you could do a lot of damage on that at that edge position.
No, I could not agree more. That's why I always include you on our live shows, Searle, because you have fantastic takes. You understand ball. You're clearly someone with a lot of ball knowledge. I agree. Spend the money on edge in free agency. Go draft a corner. I like Brandon Cisse. Cece, I think I say his name different every time, and I think I say it wrong every time, which is unfortunate for me. But Avian Terrell would be someone that would also be a fantastic addition to this team. We are just 12 likes away. We're going to get into our second segment of the show. Remember, don't go anywhere because we will be back with our mailbag, which is going to include your questions and your takes. So make sure that you still send in those super chats. You have a limited amount of time, and you use that hashtag Seahawks to be a part of not just today's show, but our show for Saturday as well. 12 likes away. Can we get there while we're filming this segment? We ready to go, producer sir? I got the thumbs up. I love that. This is Seahawks Today. I am your host, Will Ortner. And right now, I keep getting a lot of questions in my DMs, in the comment sections. In fact, whenever I try and text my lovely mother, I keep getting asked, what are the Seahawks going to do in free agency? And my response is, Mom, I just want to know how to fill out my tax forms. Right now, it is very clear to me that John Schneider has a game plan for the Seattle Seahawks in free agency, and he does a fantastic job of keeping everything close to the vest. John Schneider, there's not a whole lot of leaks around the Seahawks team, right? They kind of let you know what they want you to know. So in today's video, what I am going to go through is my perfect free agency plan for the Seahawks. There will be no trades. This is all me signing players that I think the Seahawks will sign and add to the 2026 roster that will help improve the team to the utmost degree. The first player, and I think the most important player and the most important position that we are going to target in today's video is the great Trey Hendrickson, and it is going to be, will the Seahawks add him in free agency? If I was general manager John Schneider, yes, he would be added. This guy is an absolute animal, and I think that rumors of his potential demise or a regression in his career are greatly exaggerated. He is a gigantic human being that is big enough to play the run while still having the athleticism to get after the passer. And I understand that last year, well, hey, Hendrickson will be the first one to tell you that he didn't love how he played that season. But I'll tell you right now, I think there's a lot of room for him to continue to play at that high level that he played in 24 and 23. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to be a 17.5 sack guy. That's not really how McDonald does his system or does his team, because a lot of players get a bunch of opportunities to get run and get reps, and that's why players are able to play so long into the season while also staying as healthy as possible. But I'll tell you right now, when I look at Trey Hendrickson, when he's healthy, there's very few edge rushers that are better than him, and I think he fits perfectly into McDonald's defense. McDonald wants guys who can play a couple of different spots, which Hendrickson can play on the edge, and if you wanted to go with a lighter crew, he could also technically play a defensive tackle position that tackles well. Hendrickson does that, doesn't miss a lot of tackles, and McDonald wants guys that are unselfish. Trey Hendrickson is very unselfish. All of the news and rumors and floating around over in Cincinnati happened because he was playing for the worst organization in the National Football League. They don't pay any of their players. They're very cheap. They're the type of organization that you don't necessarily want to play for. And I'm not really trying to take any shots here, but just remember, just think about what this team had done. The Cincinnati Bengals, they're really only paying Joe Burrow because they have to. Remember, there was a point in time where they were the only team in the National Football League. In fact, I still think they're the only team in the National Football League that does not have an indoor facility. That's the Cincinnati Bengals. That's not on Trey Hendrickson. So imagine what Hendrickson would be able to do in this defense. The total yards, that was 6th in the National Football League. Hendrickson, he's an upgraded edge, whether it's an upgrade for Boye Mafe or just an addition for him. You can't tell me that number doesn't go down. Pass yards, teams are going to have to get the ball out quicker, which means shorter passes. Trey Hendrickson, I bet you he helps those numbers go down. Rush yards, points, doesn't really get much better than that. And Hendrickson's only going to add to this defense. I freaking love Trey Hendrickson, and I think that he would be great in Seattle. Seattle has to go and get him in free agency. And the reason it's him instead of a trade for one of the other guys, Greenard or Crosby, is, well, you don't have to give up any extra capital for him. Next, running back, Travis Etienne. I have fallen in love with the former Clemson running back. And the reason for that is, well, he just seems to be the type of player that would fit this scheme, fit this system. But more importantly, with Travis Etienne, I love his price tag. We'll get into that in just 1 minute, but I got to let you know about the price tag for our Seahawks Today shirt. Only $24.99. Show everyone that you love our show. Grab yourself a blue or a black t-shirt. Super comfortable. Same material as the Mob Mentality. I freaking love it. Still time for you to get your St. Patrick's Day merch. We got the Seattle drinking team. We got it in the green as well as in the navy blue. You know you want to go grab yourself some so you are fly during St. Patrick's Day festivities. Speaking of that, I know a lot of people, you like hats. I like hats. You can grab yourself a beer drinking hat. What's better than the hat that says beers? You can get that for just $24.99. It's in the green, which makes it extra special for St. Patrick's Day. Now, it's important for you to know this. If you want to make sure that those get to you before St. Patrick's Day, you got to use express shipping. $5 special deal because we just love you here at Chat Sports. If you are going to get that deal, though, you have to be ordering the drinking team and the beer merch and press that button where it says express shipping. Now, if you try to add in the Seahawks Today shirt with the St. Patty's Day drinking shirt, it will not work. It can only be for the St. Patty's Day drinking shirts and the beers hats. We're going to have the link in the comment section and description of today's video that will take you where you need to go to get any of those items. When we're looking at the career stats for Travis Etienne, I always love when my running back's yardage number has 4 digits. Over 1,000 yards in 22, 23, and in 25. Now, I understand that in 2024, it wasn't where he necessarily wanted or needed it to be, but I'll tell you right now, I've been pretty damn impressed with Travis Etienne. And the more and more that I watch what he's been doing, and the more and more that I watch how he could fit into this team and fit into this squad, the more impressed I am. It's also important to mention that when you compare him to the guy who was previously here, who, by the way, is rumored to be getting a contract right around the $13 million mark, well, Travis Etienne, his stat line is actually significantly better than Kenneth Walker's. And what's most important at the end of the day? It's always going to be the price tag. So when you look at a guy like Travis Etienne, his expected market value, it's going to be lower than what some people would have previously expected. When you look at Etienne right now, only expected, according to Spot Track, to get $6.8 million. That is a number that I very much am comfortable with the Seahawks paying for a position that is not as highly valuable as some of the others. Now, I want you all to know I want Etienne to be a Seahawk. He runs the football just as well as Kenneth Walker. He catches the football in the backfield just as well as Kenneth Walker. He fits well into a zone scheme system. He knows how to find the open holes. He is a speedster. When he gets in space, he's going to run away from opposing defenses. Travis Etienne is someone that should be a Seahawk, and we want him to be a Seahawk. We're going to get all of the same stats as Kenneth Walker, and we're going to get him for literally half the price. Yeah, I'm going to subscribe to that. Just like you should subscribe to Seahawks Today if you haven't done so already. We've got 2 more free agent targets, and the next one is actually someone that wouldn't be necessarily a free agent target because it would be a re-signing target, and that, of course, is cornerback Josh Jobe. Now, the reason I want Jobe back in Seattle is we know how well he can play for this team and for the squad, and I think that Seattle would actually get him back for a relatively cheap price. When we look at Jobe's last season, obviously he did a fantastic job not really allowing the football to be caught around him. I thought that he played well, not necessarily the greatest tackler of all time, but to sit here and say that he isn't a willing tackler would be an incorrect analysis of him. We already know that Jobe works in this defense, and more importantly, we already know that Mike Macdonald loves Josh Jobe in this defense. He fits this team. He fits this system. Just make it happen. Find a way to bring him back. It limits some of the damage that we are going to take on this defense because I don't see Reek Wallen re-signing. Still see it as being very difficult to re-sign safety Kobe Bryant. So to me, bring back as many people that already know this team, already know this system, and they're going to be able to help a potential rookie player if the Seahawks decide to go out and draft a corner. That could be someone easy like Avion Terrell or Brandon Cisse from South Carolina. Well, hey, they can go to Josh Jobe or Devin Witherspoon and really understand how they need to play with this squad. Make sure that you have your notifications on because if there is a move made by the Seahawks this weekend, we'll make sure that we have a video out for you that you do not want to miss. The last player that I want to talk about, and I will say this right now, I can't believe that I am talking about him joining the Seahawks. I cannot believe that I'm going to tell you that the Seahawks should sign in free agency Jauan Jennings. It hurt me to say that. I'm going to be honest. It didn't feel good. He's the type of player, Jennings that is, that you hate when he's on another team, but you love when he's on your team. Now, obviously, the yard number isn't great for Jennings, and he's also someone who has had to deal with some injuries. But I'll tell you right now, he does a great job of catching the football in the low red zone, and Jennings could be someone that the Seahawks target because of his relationship with Brian Fleury, the new offensive coordinator. Brian Fleury is definitely going to want to have a team that is built in an image of toughness, right? Fleury is going to have an offense that runs the football first and then passes second and isn't afraid, and I do mean isn't afraid, to have wide receivers that block. Seattle did not bring back Jake Bobo. They want to bring back Jake Bobo. But there's a potential that another team goes out and signs him for more money. And if they do, well, maybe Jennings makes sense. I get it. I understand. I know why you're upset. I think that Jennings fits with this offense. And I do think that he would really help this squad. What is your one-word reaction to my Seahawks free agency plan? Let me know down below in the comment section. Do you think it's perfect? Do you not think it's perfect? Just make sure that you sound off as loud as you possibly can. I always really appreciate when you do. I'm going to say that it's perfect, but I get why it might not be. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button. We are going to be live on Monday. You don't want to miss any of the coverage we have on the Seahawks or NFL free agency. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video, and I cannot wait to see you next time. Boom! What is going on? We got so close to that 100 likes, Searle. We are just 4 away. So close. Just 4 away. What up, Patrice? Oh, so here's why I didn't put them on there. This is going to be full transparency. I do not view them. They would not be a free agency plan, Patrice, because you're right. If this was what moves the Seahawks need to make during the NFL offseason, number 1, number 2, extend JSN, extend Devin Witherspoon. You're 100% correct. Couldn't agree more. But because it is free agency and they are not free agents, that is why they were not on there. That is why I would make those moves. And Jackson, don't be here then. I don't know what to tell you.
It's not for everybody, Jackson.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
It's not personal.
I don't know what to tell you. You know what I hate watching? I hate watching the NBA. I don't think it's a good product. I don't care about
what?
I'm not an NBA guy. Not an NBA guy. And in fact, I actually don't watch the NBA really until the postseason. And
when it picks
honestly,
up.
I don't really watch it until the fourth quarter. And you know what I don't do? I don't force myself to watch it if I don't like it. So if you don't like it, don't watch it. That's fine. Not a big deal. What's up, my guy Swoo? We'll get you up here in just a moment. I'm going to give y'all about 5 minutes. At 5:26, we're going to get into our mailbag. If you want to make sure that you're a part of that, just make sure that you use the hashtag Seahawks, or you can send in a super chat. We do always appreciate those. Hey, you know what, Jackson? I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I'm trying to make valid points. I get why you might hate Jennings. Oh, you were saying Jennings is annoying. I apologize. I thought you were saying we were annoying. I'm so sorry, Jackson. I take it back. I 100%. I 100% get what you're talking about with Jennings. That guy's annoying as hell. I apologize. Can you tell it's my Friday? Can you tell it's my Friday, Cyril?
Oh, it's both
by the
our
way,
Fridays.
producer Cyril has done the Lord's work today. How many videos have we recorded?
After
7.
this, it'll be 7.
7 videos today. Producer Cyril's absolutely killing it.
Wait, is that right?
Swoo! What's going on? Hot take, but I wouldn't mind Greenard, and I get Cisse. Dude, I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's a very informed take. I think it's a great take, to be honest with you. I think that is a fantastic take. I love Cisse.
You've talked about him on our mock drafts multiple times.
100%. That's a guy who could play a multitude of positions, which we know McDonald loves. He's a guy who could play inside as well as outside. The amount of guys that can play so many different spots and so many different positions, it would be unfathomable with this defense. No team would be able to be like, oh, hey, we're ready for the Seahawks base defense, because the question would be, what the F is the Seahawks base defense?
Right.
There is none, because everyone could do everything. And I like Greenard too. I just don't know that I'm willing to give up a day 2 pick and a day 3 pick. They want a second and more. Seahawks don't have a ton of draft capital already. So I don't know if I'm super comfortable trading for him. I don't hate it. Jackson, I'm glad that we were able to fix that.
Bury the hatchet.
I love you too. Thank you so much for being here. We do appreciate that. We appreciate it. We definitely appreciate it. Swoo. K9. Dude, I agree. My guy Michael, by the way, I do want to make sure that I give him a shout out. He was saying Rico Dowdle would be someone that could also really fit well with the Seahawks. I don't hate that either. I certainly do not hate that either. Tech and Power Hub, we'll get you up here in just a moment. We're in that 2-minute warning, so make sure, if you could, if you can, if you want to have an opportunity to be a part of today's show, or if you want to be potentially a part of Saturday's show as well. You still got time. You got to send in that super or use that hashtag Seahawks. Tech and Power Hub. I hope we don't re-sign Walker. I want a running back that runs north and south, not east and west. This is the league. Your athleticism won't win. Yeah, I get where you're coming from there. There is something definitely alluring about a player that is more of a north and south runner. I like K9, and he was great in the playoffs. But is K9 a top 10 running back, Cyril? Is he top 10?
Yeah.
Is he top 10?
We got to look at this objectively.
Yeah.
I don't know if he is.
I agree.
He came on, 1,000-yard season.
I agree.
He came on strong, Super Bowl MVP. It's hard to say.
I agree.
But if you do the numbers really justify?
The numbers do not justify what they're going to pay him.
No.
They do not justify. If it's $13 million, that puts him top 5. Top 5 in paid running backs in a per-year basis. Sorry, K9's not worth that.
No.
I don't want to spend that. I don't disagree with you, Tech and Power Hub. And Jerry's nailing it on the head. He was great in the postseason. But part of the reason that he was able to be great was because Charbonnet took on more of the load. So Kenneth Walker, he's fresh, he's relaxed, he's ready to go. And then he was awesome. And I'll always be grateful for him. But to sit here and say that he deserves to get paid top 5 money, like that, we're just not there. Yeah, we're just not there. He just doesn't deserve it. Unfortunate. And I wish he did. I love K9. And I wish K9 was staying. But he's not worth what they're going to pay him. And here's the other one, too, in my opinion. He should leave. Go where they're going to pay you. I had a job previous to this one. Chat Sports said, we'll give you X. And I said, well, that's more than I'm making right now. See ya. That's how I ended up here at Chat Sports. True story. That's actually how I signed my contract. I yelled, see ya. And I called the big suits over here. It's not actually how it went down, but close to it. Close to it. Searle said I do and then ran here. That's not quite how that went down either. But the countdown is over. We're going to get into our mailbag. Shout out to each and every single one of you. Thank you guys so much for hitting that thumbs up button. We're over 100 likes, which was our goal today, 102. We are going to be doing our mailbag here in just one moment. And then after our mailbag, we'll come back, say goodbye, because we do love and appreciate every single one of you guys. Don't go anywhere. Hang out. Enjoy. Have fun watching the mailbag. Shout out to Lucky Links. Again, thank you so much. And remember, everyone who sent in a super chat, you guys are entered into that raffle to potentially come away with a very cool 12s bracelet. All right, Producer Searle, we ready for our mailbag? Just about is the word that I got from Producer Searle. When Producer Searle gives me that thumbs up, we will get going. This is Seahawks Today. I am your wonderful host, Will Ortner. At least that's what my mother tells me every single day. We are going to be talking about what the Seahawks could be potentially doing during NFL free agency because it is literally just a couple of days away. There's a lot of Seahawks fans that have questions. We are going to have answers for you, and we're going to break down all of the latest news and rumors. But before we do that, I need to let you know about this sweet t-shirt. How often can you find some of the coolest things to wear at just $24.99? Well, you can over at chatsports.com/Seahawks T. Look at this sweet navy as well as the black t-shirt that we have. If you want to show that you're a real one, support the show, support the team here, you can go grab one of those today. Now, we still have some St. Patrick's Day merch going. You want to join my guy Jerry B in the Seattle drinking team, you can grab this green t-shirt, or you could go in and grab our navy one as well. Super affordable, very comfy. Love wearing it. And you can match that with this sweet beer drinking hat. Who doesn't love a hat that says beers on it? It's the trucker style, which I do think is very cool. Only $24.99. Now, there is something that I want to make sure that I get across to you. If you want to make sure that that drinking team merch and the hat is to you in time for St. Patty's Day, you got to make sure that you use the express delivery, only $5. So if you want to make sure that it gets to you in time, we have a special deal for y'all, only $5. Just like the picture says, make sure that you click that. Just make sure that you know it's only for the drinking team and the beers hat. You cannot get that deal if you use the Seahawks Today t-shirt in that order. So if you want to make sure that your drinking team and your hat gets there in time for St. Patrick's Day, express $5 and it'll get where it needs to be. Make sure that you click the link that's in the comment section and description of today's video if you want to go grab one of those. What's going on, Father Time? Love when we get some of the olds in on our shows. Will the Seahawks re-sign any of their key free agents? So let's look at who the big name players were for the Seahawks going into NFL free agency, because there were 6 players that really stood out to me that I found very fascinating and that I believe the Seahawks were going to do a big job of making sure that they were going to get back. Running back Kenneth Walker, Rashid Shaheed, safety Kobe Bryant, edge Boye Mafe, cornerback Reek Woolen, and cornerback Josh Jobe. Now, when I look at this crew, I do think that the Seahawks have a good shot at getting back Josh Jobe. But when it comes to the other guys with the Seahawks, I just have a hard time because they are going to make more money than frankly, I feel comfortable with the Seahawks paying them. And we all know that John Schneider is known for having a clear cap, that he will not go above or beyond. He also trusts himself to be able to use his draft picks to get the best players into Seattle. And frankly, at this point, I trust John Schneider because he's proven that he can do these things at a high level. So to me, I'm going to trust that John gets the job done. And he goes out and he makes sure that he signs only deals with players that are good for the franchise and will bring the most amount of talent back to this team. If you want the Seahawks to dominate NFL free agency, like the video. It's not that hard and it doesn't cost you anything. Just go in, hit that thumbs up button, and you are going to maybe help the Seahawks dominate NFL free agency. What is up, my guy Xander? Let's go Hawks. I hope Crosby will be a Seahawk. I hope so too, man. There's a lot of news and rumors swirling about him. Freaking would love to see him in Seattle. Jerry Brooks, what is going on, sir? I am nervous, but it's just fanboy nerves. I trust John and Mike have a plan, and they have my trust. Jerry, I could not agree more, sir. I've already tweeted out how I was nervous. It feels like the Seahawks are losing all these key parts, although I will say that the re-signing of Drake Thomas was a big deal. Getting Ty Okada as well as George Halani back, those were sneaky good deals. Schneider seems to be biding his time. I think right now he really is a snake in the grass. He's waiting for an opportunity to pounce, and I think that he does have a clear plan. He has a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. The question is where will he be able to act upon it? And I just have to trust that at the end of the day, Mike and John know what they need to do to make sure that this team is in the best position possible to succeed. So I trust them. I think we'll get there. Techcom Power Hub. What's going on, sir? If we get better on the edge, we will be just fine. I could not agree more, sir. I think that the Seahawks could potentially go after some big-name guys in free agency. I would be very interested to see if the Seahawks end up bringing in Trey Hendrickson. Now, it's important to note that the Dallas Cowboys obviously have some interest in him as well. So whoever ends up signing Hendrickson in free agency, they're going to get a top-end pass rusher. Hopefully his number ends up hitting what the Seahawks are comfortable paying, and hopefully he wants to join a team that could legitimately win a Super Bowl next year. I don't know that the Cowboys are in that spot yet. Tech and Power Hub hits us with the double tap. What's up, sir? Plenty of DBs in this year's draft. Yes, sir, I could not agree more. There's some really good defensive backs that have been linked to the Seahawks. Avian Terrell, someone that Mel Kiper had as potentially falling all the way to that 32nd pick. Clemson cornerback, I think that he would fit perfectly with the Seahawks team. And you'd really see an explosive jump as well from the defense because he is a lockdown corner. He's also a ball hawking corner, guy that can go after and make a bunch of interceptions, something that we didn't necessarily see a ton from the cornerback room. The other guy that I find fascinating is out of South Carolina, Brandon Cisse. That guy is unbelievable. Could he end up being someone that plays a multitude of positions fitting into this amoeba-style defense that McDonald has kind of morphed around his players instead of having his players morph around his defense? I think it's possible. Very excited to see there. You're right, Tech and Power Hub. There's definitely some good DBs. We got a triple dose of good news. Tech and Power Hub is back. I hope we don't re-sign Walker. I want a running back to run north and south, not east and west. This is the league. Your athleticism won't always win. I don't hate that take. It's important to kind of remember with Kenneth Walker. While the end of the year was great for him, beginning of the year, it wasn't like he was blowing the doors off anybody. And I kind of attribute at least a little bit of the success for Kenneth Walker to the fact that he wasn't the bell cow this year. Seattle didn't ask him to be the number one running back until Zach Charbonnet went down. It was more so of a, Sonic and Knuckles type situation. You shared the load. And because of that, I think Kenneth Walker was a little bit fresher closer to the end of the year. And because he was a little bit fresher towards the end of the year, you saw a lot more success from Walker. So when I look at what the Seahawks are doing in free agency, I'm not willing to pay Kenneth Walker the rumored number that he's going to get. And if I'm not willing to pay that number, well then Seattle's going to have to move on from him. Interested to see who they sign in free agency. So, what's going on, sir? Hot take, but I wouldn't mind Greenard and get Cisse. Now, Swooze here talking about cornerback Brandon Cisse in the NFL draft. I do like that pick as well. Obviously, I already talked about him a little bit before this. The other player that I do find fascinating here is Jonathan Greenard. Now, Seattle would have to trade with the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, Seattle has called and they are interested in Greenard. We know that from reporter Corbin Smith. What I find interesting about Greenard is that Seattle would have to give up more than likely a second-round pick and a pick at the back end of the draft. Seattle does not have a ton of draft capital, but John Schneider is one of the best, if not the best, GMs at finding talent in the draft, taking them and watching them blossom into being stars in the National Football League. So to me, I could see Seattle trading for Greenard, but I don't know that they're willing to give up that price. I would love for him to be in Seattle. I think he fits great in this defense. I just don't know that I love Seattle trading for him. Will the Seahawks make a big move this week? Still a little bit of time left to go. Let me know down below in the comment section, yes or no. And we'll see what ends up happening. I think the Seahawks could be in a very good position to make a big move during the week of NFL free agency. Michael, what's going on? Will the Chat Sports host do a mock draft? Yes, we've done one that ended up being a 3-round. We'll end up doing a full draft, mock draft here soon. But I'll tell you right now, my focus is a little bit more so on NFL free agency because, well, that's right around the corner. Patrice, what is going on? Is Jake Bobo leaving? Why didn't we tender him? So here's the reason for this. Jake Bobo might be leaving. Seattle ended up not offering him his tender because it ended up being worth $3 million. The Seattle Seahawks were not willing to pay Jake Bobo $3 million, and I kind of understand that. They are hoping that they're going to be able to bring Bobo back for less. Now, is it possible that a team comes in and offers Jake Bobo a little bit more money than that? Yeah, 100%. And if he ends up moving on, that does suck, and that is unfortunate. That being said, I still think there's a world where he ends up coming back to Seattle, and it's just more so on a team-friendlier deal. What's going on, Master B Chief? And I wonder what that means. You think the NFC West will have 3 teams in the playoffs again? Yeah, I do. I think the Arizona Cardinals are ass. That is the actual correct and dictionary definition, proper term. That being said, I do say that the San Francisco 49ers, they're a very darn good team. They're very impressive to me. I think that the LA Rams, I don't see them going anywhere anytime soon, unfortunately. As long as they're going to be able to have Matt Stafford there, they're going to be a pretty darn good ball club. So, yes, I think you're going to see 3 teams in the playoffs again in the NFC West, barring some sort of crazy injury situation. What's going on? It's the one, it's the only Pop Toes. Will, you and Searle are the best 12s. We are not the best 12s, but I do love and appreciate that sentiment, man. Love covering the Seahawks. Love getting to interact with the real ones of Seahawks Today. I know producer Searle does as well. We really enjoy being here with y'all. It's a lot of fun, but I'll tell you this right now. We certainly aren't the best. There are plenty of other 12s that are better than we are. Thank you guys so much for hitting that sub button. Make sure that you do so now so you don't miss out on any of the NFL free agency news in 2026. By the way, we're closing in on 86K. Help us out by hitting that sub button. Is there a chance? What's up, Speedy Shahidi? It's an interesting way to spell that name. Is there a chance that the Seahawks bring back Rashid Shaheed? I'll tell you right now, it doesn't feel great. It certainly feels like he is potentially on the move, and he will not be back in Seattle. It feels like he has a number that he realizes he is going to be able to make in NFL free agency, and I don't know that the Seahawks are going to be able to match that. Obviously, the report came from ESPN's Adam Schefter just a couple of days ago that Seattle wasn't really in a spot where they were going to be able to offer Shaheed the amount of money that he thought he deserved or that he was necessarily looking for. And I don't blame the Seahawks for being unwilling to, at least right now, pay that amount for Shaheed. When you look at his stat line with the Seattle Seahawks, it's not like he had the greatest year. Now, I would say that an offseason with Sam Darnold, an offseason with Brian Fleury, the new offensive coordinator, I do think that he would be able to put himself in a position to have as much success as possible, because obviously he had success with the Saints. That being said, I don't know that I'm willing to pay $18 million for him. That's what it sounds like he's going to get. I don't know that I'm willing to pay $18 million for him. Hit that thumbs up button if you like today's video. I understand that not all of the content you might like, or all of the things that we're talking about in our content you might not love, but you love Seahawks Today. You love what we're doing here on the channel. Hit that thumbs up button and make sure that you subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Hit that sub button. It's only going to help you become an even more informed fan on the best team in the National Football League. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video, and I cannot wait to see you next time. What is going on, everybody? 70 of y'all still hanging out with us. What a freaking day. What a day, Searle. It's been a long one. It's not over yet, but we're closing in. We're closing in on that end of work beer.
Yes.
I cannot wait.
Watch getting ever so closely.
It's getting just so much cooler. I'll tell you that right now. Jerry at the buzzer, sir. We'll get you in on that raffle. Unfortunately, Jerry, we won't be able to get you in on the mailbag, but I would love to answer your question right here because, well, you're a real one, a Seahawks Today. We love and appreciate you here. Searle and I do. Every once in a while, we'll be walking by each other and just yell, Jerry! We get a kick out of it, man. You are the best. So while Searle's working on getting you up here on the screen, for those of you in the comment section who haven't had a chance to check this out, Jerry asks, will Jared Ivey make an impact next year? I hear the staff likes him. The staff does like him, which I think would be fascinating if Seattle decided not to make a move here. Because remember, Jared Ivey is well-liked, as well as Connor O'Toole. Those are two edge rushers that the Seahawks held on to the entire year and did not leave up for an opportunity for other teams to come in and sign them. Right? They weren't put on the practice squad. Those are two guys that were with the Seahawks the entire way. I would be very interested to see if the Seahawks get to a point where they say, hey, you know what? Maybe we're going to go with the young guys because of things that they've seen in practice. I think the Seahawks like him. I think you're going to see him get a lot of run in training camp. I think you're going to see him get a lot of run in preseason. I don't think you're too far off here, Jerry. I think that he might make a big impact next year. I think that he might make a big impact. Mousin, I get it. The offseason is scaring me as well. But I'll tell you right now, you got to trust John Schneider. I think he can do it. I think he will be able to do it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We really enjoyed today. Hit that thumbs up button if you have an opportunity to do so and you haven't been able to do it yet. Thank you guys again so much. We love and appreciate you. We are going to be live again on Monday. Do not miss out on your opportunity to hang out with us. We're going to have you covered on all things Seahawks free agency-wise. Thank you guys so much. Love and appreciate y'all. Have a safe weekend. And I cannot wait to see you next time.